Good evening and welcome to the rest of the news. We have a fantastic program for you today, and our special guest is Cindy Marlow, who is in charge of building a conservative group meeting network where we send out DVDs and people get them and show them to their friends or give them away. And you know, Cindy, you're the key to this whole thing because you contact all these people and get them going.
Well, actually, I like to give the glory to the Lord because I have a gift of gab. I like to talk, but I do.
That's important.
Well, and I also sense when I'm talking to them, if even though they say they can't do something, I'll tell them that. You can do it by not just showing videos. You can also have people in your home on one-on-one, or just educating people, or just even to get involved in little groups. You know.
Yeah.
And so it's can be a multitude of ideals that you can come up with your own, plan. You don't have to go just, hey, watch this DVD. It's actually kind of good to make it where it's personal with the person, if you know them personally, and then you know they're interested in an ideal. And I say, hey, you can just show that to them personally. They come over for like to eat or something.
Right.
Or like
right.
we have one of the ones that we were showing today with Alan Bivens from Owensboro. He actually has group meetings. So there are people that venture out that far.
They were telling me we've sent out 7,560 DVDs since January 1st. That's a lot of DVDs.
And it's probably more than that, because sometimes when people call in and we don't have time to put them in the slots of how many we gave out,
Yeah.
It's probably closer to 10,000.
So they're all over the state, and
Yes.
there are now over 500 people that are showing this to their friends or giving them out.
Actually, about 507, and then I got about 20 more yesterday, so we're getting close to
20 more?
We have about close to over 530 now. So.
Now, are those all in Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
no, not of the 500. No, we have a few in Indiana, a few in Indiana, some in Tennessee, some in Illinois, but I'd say 96% of them are Kentucky.
Now we've got that list of people outside the state that we can send a letter to, and ask them to do more. Get started in their state.
You mean the people we already have involved?
Well, no, I'm talking about the AFA chapters.
Oh yes, we can do that too. So if anybody knows anything about anybody in another state that's interested, and we can contact their AFA chapter, yes, that would be a great way to proliferate it.
Maybe some of our listeners know people outside of Kentucky or within Kentucky,
yes.
Either one, and they could call us, and we can send out the DVDs and the list of DVDs and get them started, and their relatives started, or their friends that live outside the state. And it seems like that is such an easy thing to do that's so effective as far as turning our country around.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of times people get caught up in the same routine, and they feel like nothing's going to change. They don't trust in their government. And just talking to someone recently, and with the recent primary we had against two Republicans, Mitch McConnell and Matt Bevin, and it's like, if we don't step out in faith and do something different, we're going to be the same old, and that's where we trust God, is where we educate people, we inform them, and tell them to listen to God and to teach others about it. I believe in standing up for boldly standing up for His righteousness, and I think that's what we're lacking in America.
Now, here is a bumper sticker that says a lot about that. It says, if we work together under God, we're invincible. Nothing can stop us.
That's right.
And I wanted to show our audience this. This is a picture of the first flight of an airplane, and it is the Wright brothers, and it was in 1903. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now this is the first man on the moon. This was in 1969. So that was about
66 years apart.
yeah, 66 years apart. So a lot happened in those 60 years. And the question is, why did that all happen? And the answer is because we're one nation under God, and our rights come from our Creator.
Right.
And
Not
so,
from government.
that's right. And we're invincible. Nothing can stop the work of God in America today. And so that's why these DVDs are so effective. People say, oh, it's too late, we can't do anything. But we really can. And here's a list of the DVDs that we have available now. There are all kinds of DVDs about American history, Christianity, the Cultural War, education in our public schools, elections, evolution, the Federal Reserve, environmentalism, the gun rights, illegal immigration, Islam and the American Brotherhood, Muslim Brotherhood, Obama administration, pro-life, just almost anything you can imagine, we've got DVDs on it.
And it's, a lot of people don't realize too, Dr. Simon, that they think that America is not affected by anything. Well, if you look in the news, it just happened recently about a little girl in Mississippi, a 19-year-old girl. Did you hear about her? Someone set her on fire, put ignited liquid. What's it called? Lighter fluid. And she was 19 years old, and she burned to death. I mean, that's happening in America now. People say, "Oh, we're nothing's going to come on our land." Well, it's important to share with others about the type of people that do this, and we're not want to blame a particular group, but there are extremist people in a particular religion that do that, and we have information on things like that, and the education. If your children are in school, the Common Core is very, very, very detrimental to our children. And what they're learning and what they're not learning, actually.
Right.
They're keeping them at a very low level of learning, and they're not giving them the true history.
Here is our calendar for 2015. It's just beginning to come off the press, and we'd like to send you a free copy of that, plus the list of DVDs. What else can we give you? We can give you the bumper sticker about One Nation Under God, and
the agenda
video. Yeah, we can send you that. That's the story of Khrushchev saying how he's going to bury America. And it goes into, he wrote down how he was going to do it. The first thing he was going to do is take prayer out of the public schools. And he knew that there'd be problem if we kicked God out of our lives of our children. And so it exposes all these things that Khrushchev and his friends did to bring America down.
And he said he was to do it from within, and that's what they've done a little bit at a time, is eternally and internal within our government.
Yes, exactly. But just like this has all come about in America, we can overcome all of these problems by working together under God. And your good work is an example of how we can turn this country around. Cindy has gotten over 500 groups, people showing the DVDs or giving them out, and also has given out 7,500 DVDs to different groups, and now we're expanding outside of Kentucky. So if you know somebody who is not in Louisville or Kentucky even, you give us a call, and 893-2444, and we'll get them in the network.
Yeah.
And Cindy will give them a call, and she's got people helping her now.
And also, Dr. Simon, we have also people are going with me, a few people to Frankfurt, and we're trying to lobby, with the one bill or with the religious student liberty bill. But that's another good way, is to contact your congressman or your representative and your state senator, and to actually go there in person. I mean, you actually pay for these people to be down there, and not everybody's called to do what certain people I do or other people do. But if you're interested in a particular issue, like Common Core is really, really, really big right now, and trying to get that out of the system, we need to get that out of Kentucky. Indiana did. And we need to do that as well.
Right.
And so that's real important, to go to Frankfurt, take a day out and do that in January through March. Well, this year it's only January and February. It's a short session, but that's important too.
Well, now, if you're interested in helping to put God back in the public schools or stop discrimination against Christians in the public schools, we have this bill. It's already been introduced, and we can get you a petition that you can get everybody in your church signed up, and we're trying to get this bill passed. And the number to call, 893-2444, and we can get you this whole packet, and the calendar, the bumper sticker, the list of DVDs, and other DVDs, and we can get you started in the whole process. Somebody says, I can't do everything, but I can do something.
That's right.
And with God's help, we were going to do what we can do.
And also, if they want to meet me in Frankfurt, they want to know how to contact or lobby, or even set up a small rally for a particular cause, I can show them how to do that. They can contact me and go to Frankfurt.
I tell you, we can turn this whole thing around, and but the key is our listeners, and we need your help, and we need you to call 893-2444, and we will get you DVDs. We'll get you petitions to help put God back in our public schools here in Kentucky, or at least stop discrimination against the Christian students, so that they can talk about God in their homework, or
exactly, or in the debate class or anything. Also, Dr. Simon, if people, if they're in, sometimes people think it has to be a Christian group that they want to share these DVDs, and that's not so. You can be involved. Your children can be involved in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, or you could be in a civic organization. You would not believe the people who are interested in certain issues. They may not be totally feel how you feel, but there's usually a common ground, one common ground with somebody with one of these issues that you have in different groups that a person may be involved in, besides,
Right. And,
the groups we're in.
This information on these DVDs, no one ever hears about that because, they don't put it on the news. But we can overcome the bias of the news media by getting the information on these DVDs and showing them to our friends and neighbors.
And a really neat one, looking down at the list, is evolution, especially either one of those two. But they're so powerful because a lot of times people say you can't talk about this and that in school, about creation. Well, these are four power questions to ask an evolutionist, and if you can memorize, it's really kind of easy. If you listen to it a few times, you can start debating people, and then just talking. Yes, and then it kind of that helps educate people to truth, to God's truth. And don't be afraid. We need to be bold.
Cindy, you've done a great job organizing really the whole state in different groups that will get these DVDs and show them. 500. That's a huge number, and that's just in the last year or so.
Since January of 13, so it'll be a year and a half.
Almost
March,
two.
About a year and 8 months. Yeah, 9 months.
But now I understand that's 7,560 DVDs since January 1st of this year.
So that wouldn't count all the ones from last year. Exactly.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
About March of last year.
So it's something everybody can do.
Yes.
It's not a lot of work. You can just give the DV out to somebody else.
And follow up with them and ask them, have you had a time? Because a lot of times people will put it on their shelves. Just say, really, just take a few minutes and watch it, and I'll get back with you. And
this is something everybody can do. And these DVDs are inexpensive to make. That's why we're able to send them out. And you just give them to somebody. People say, "Oh, my daughter is very liberal. She needs she won't ever vote right or something." Well, show her the DVD. And I was listening to a guy on the internet today. He's got 50 chapters,
Wow.
and all over the United States of young people that they have said, "Well, do you like to pay taxes? Do you believe in free enterprise?" And bingo, he's got their young people
Wow.
are getting involved in the conservative movement. We've kind of got an explosion since the November 4th election. Everything is turning around, and we've got our foot in the door, and it's time to push ahead and get the whole tamale.
And too, Dr. Simon, talking about the movement with the young people, I think that's our key too.
Yeah.
Is don't, they're trying to keep the young people from knowing God's truth.
Yes.
And we have every right under this nation, under the United States Constitution, we have every right to tell and speak what we believe, and they're trying to curb that. And we don't need to. We need to be bold, and we need to continue to educate people and say, hey, we have every right to say what they have the right to say. What they have against us, we can tell them truths. And
That's
I think
right.
a lot of times people don't. They shy away from it. They get scared when someone says, "I'll sue you." Well, so then take me to court. I have the right to speak like you do in a
That's
loving
right.
way.
Yeah.
You can do it in a loving way.
Well, they've rewritten the history, and the history they teach in the public school is been rewritten to take God and the Constitution and all of this out of it. The whole idea that our rights come from God, and that's what makes America.
They don't even teach that.
They don't want to. They don't want the children to know that, and so this new bill that we're working on is hopefully we can get that back into the public schools. So give us a call right now, 893-2444, and we thank Cindy for her good work, and we're going to hear from one of the chapter leaders that you've set up here in Owensboro. So his name is Alan Bivens, and he's doing a terrific job, and he's going to tell us how he actually did what you asked him to do and get this whole group started so that we can get the truth out to everybody. So we're going to turn this over to Alan now and hear what he has to say. Thanks a lot. You're from Owensboro.
Right.
And Cindy's been telling us about this program of showing DVDs, and you have started showing DVDs in Owensboro.
Right. And we send out some messages, and word of mouth is one of the best things. It gets people working. And there's a lot of people that are very interested in being informed, a lot of things that you won't find on the regular news channel, but they're going on, and so it's very informative for us to do this.
How long do your meetings last?
Probably about an hour and a half, and the reason being is because we'll show a film, and we love to intermingle afterwards.
Yeah.
It's good to talk, and we'll have some refreshments and so on.
Like cookies.
Sure.
And decaf coffee.
Decaf coffee, some cookies, and because people's got to go home, go to bed, so we think of that. Maybe some tea, unsweet tea or Kool-Aid or so on. And they can have it casual where you can sit down with a plate, your snacks and drink, watch film, and we share. And then we also give other people time to ask questions and share. And so it turns out really well.
So about how many people might show up at one of the meetings?
Most usually, because the church I go to are several that's interested, and it'll be a range of different ages, but probably around 20, 21.
Really?
Sometimes will show up, right?
Wow, that's a lot.
And they're interested, and we also try to print out papers like some stories from history, quotes from different presidents, showing that our nation was founded on Christianity. And we really stress that to get that across to people.
Yes.
What I say is, in the pages of American history, you'll find the pages of the Bible.
That's good. What DVD do you think is most popular with your group?
Well, I love the one on Common Core that you
Yeah.
had, and it's a lot. We have several people in our school, in our church, that are interested in what's going on in the schools, and we have some homeschoolers, and so they were really interested in the Common Core, and then Kitty Workman, I love that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is something I advise everybody just to hear her testimony from back in the Nazi days of Adolf Hitler.
We want to remind our listeners that we have a packet of information we'd like to send them for free. This is our new 2015 calendar, and that's just beginning to roll off the presses, and we'd like to send you one of those for free. And this is a list of the DVDs that we have put together, and it's about 45 now, and they deal with anything from America's heritage, the Cultural War, education, evolution, the Federal Reserve, gun rights, the gay rights agenda, Islam and Muslim Brotherhood, the Obama administration, pro-life, just a number of subjects that we have DVDs on if people wanted those. And this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, that the key to turning America back to God and one nation under God and being prosperous again is to work together under God, and then we are invincible. And this is a DVD that we've been showing lately. It shows David Barton and the first Bible printed in America in English language. This is another one. Have you shown this?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think we showed that when we were
Right.
up there.
We did.
We came up and visited you in Owensboro. What was that, about a year ago? Or?
Yeah, August in 2013, I think it was.
Okay, this is one of our most popular DVDs, and this is free also. All of our DVDs are free, but this tells you, this is about how Khrushchev said we're going to bury America without falling a shot, and he wrote down how he was going to do it, and this is a video on all the things he said he was going to do. We would like all of our listeners to be like you and get these DVDs. Like we said, there are now 500 groups like Alan who are showing the DVDs to their friends, and we've sent out over 7,000 DVDs all over the state, and we want to send out more. We think that it's important for people to realize what's going on and what they can do about it. And this, I think a lot of people know there's something wrong, but they're not sure what they can do about it. But this is something everybody can do, is just call this number, 893-2444, and we'll send you these DVDs, which are free. And you can show them to your relatives and neighbors and friends. And we can turn things around by just showing people what's going on and what they can do about it.
Well, it's really fairly easy. You can set up to get in contact with you. You have all the resources there. And so, and you could start at your house, or you could start in a back room at a church, if your pastor, permitting.
Yeah.
And the ministry will be permitting. So you can do that, and it's just great to have just a casual
meeting.
Don't have to be kind of churchy or anything like that. Don't have to open up in a couple songs. Just gather together. Because you're right, Dr. Simon. There's people that are interested, and they know something's going on, but they really don't know what way to take to get this information.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I was listening one time or reading a book, and it said that Karl Marx, who's the father of communism, he stated that a people without a heritage is a people that's easily persuaded. And that ought to tell us all that we need to know our heritage, where
Right.
we came from.
Right. So you were able to do this without a whole lot of stress and sweating and everything?
Oh no, it's really, I love doing it, and it's to me it was no problem at all. It's you've got this and you want it, and you enjoy when other people want to
Receive
hear
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a joy.
Now, we were up there and saw you in Owensboro, and you showed me about William Federer,
Mhm.
introduced me to him, and he is tremendous. So there's a lot of give and take of information, and we really appreciate you cluing us into William Federer and all that you're doing up there. And I think our audience here can, just get these DVDs. They're free. It's not a big deal. You can show them to people, or you can just give them away, or you can have a meeting and discuss them.
Mm-hmm.
And really, there's a great move. Like I say, we've had 500 groups like yours all over the state, and we're trying to expand now outside of Kentucky. And we've given out 7,000 of these. So
Wow.
I think it's a very easy way to turn things around,
Very.
that anybody can do it.
Mark chapter 12, it says that the common people gladly heard Jesus.
Hallelujah.
And I tell you what, I think it's the same thing today, that the common was, we're the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And I
That's
think
right.
the common people would love to hear. They love to hear our Christian heritage that's been trying to, it's like, why are people hiding it so strongly,
Absolutely, because they
And,
don't want anybody to know.
Right.
Like you
And,
say, that's part of our strength
Yes.
as a nation, a free nation, is that we know the founding fathers, and they're based our country and our Constitution on the Bible. And
It's overwhelming, yes.
Yeah.
And it's when you start digging in, that's why it's such a joy to share this, Dr. Simon, is because you get so much information. Then you think, well, just in about 45 minutes to an hour to share, and then 30 minutes to kind of like give, answers and questions. If you start thinking, man, it's not enough time, You need to have meetings to get this material out because there's so much.
God bless you. We certainly appreciate your good work there in Owensboro. We hope to come and visit you again someday. Tune in again next week for the rest of the news.